let's move on now to the Minnesota Vikings in our key player series. And Ryan and I, we are going to break down why Jordan Addison is the key player that is going to have the biggest contributing factor on if the Vikings are able to repeat as NFC North champs, or unfortunately maybe fall out of the playoffs, or maybe at minimum just make a wild card. So, but before we do that, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button. Also ring the bell to get notified when new Vikings content gets released. Ryan and I, we have a bunch of new content coming out throughout the training camp, preseason, then also weekly regular season prediction videos that involve the Minnesota Vikings. So if you want to see that content, the easiest way is to subscribe and ring the bell. And Ryan, let's get into it here.
Let's do it.
The Vikings coming into the 2023 season as the reigning NFC North champs, but however, it feels weird. Just feels like there's just the overall hype. There's a lot of question marks around them here. That I think that they had several lucky wins, so to say, and even then, I think they lost more than what they were able to bring in. Some of it due to cap situations, some of it also just due to some of their veteran players getting older, and they just want to make room for young talent to come in. And that best examples, honestly, are the main point of this video, which is Jordan Addison. Adam Thielen was released. Dalvin Cook was also released as well. So that's two key veteran pieces also in the locker room, but also stats on the field that are gone. Dalvin Cook actually had, I believe, how much did he have? 300 receiving yards, and then Adam Thielen had 716 receiving yards last year. So 1,000 receiving yards now off the books. And that's going to have to come from somewhere. So I think KJ Osborne, he had 650 last year. He'll probably get a couple more. TJ Hawkinson had 519. I'm pretty sure, based off, I'm looking at Pro Football Reference, that just includes his stats with the Vikings, correct? Or is that total in general?
I think that's total. It should say two teams next to his stats on Pro Football Reference.
Oh, I'm looking at the overall team Minnesota Vikings stats. Either way, though, so he's going to have some more targets just in general. However, the bulk of the targets are going to have to come from their number 2 receiver, and that's going to be Jordan Addison. They drafted him in the first round. He's supposed to relieve a lot of pressure off of Justin Jefferson because he's really the only threat now, like lethal threat for the Vikings, both offense and defense, actually, to be honest. So, but we say that here. What's your take on Jordan Addison, and what do you need to see from him to give the Vikings an opportunity to make the playoffs?
So for me, they need him to come in and be a 1B receiver, right? I think they put a lot of they kind of put all their eggs in one basket with the Jordan Addison pick. They need cornerback depth, they need cornerbacks in general, not just depth. But then they also need to solidify that front seven, and they neglected all of that and then went and got another weapon. And so to me, I think they see this NFL as it's going to be a track meet, and whoever has the fastest, best wide receivers, skill position players is going to win. And so they need him to come in and be what he was in college as the Biletnikoff Award winner, right? Make this offense so elite that it's uncoverable, right?
Yeah.
And so that, to me, I think is what he needs to be. And that puts a lot of pressure on a young guy, in my opinion. I think he can do it. I don't know how realistic it is to try to outscore every single team. Eventually, you're going to have an off week, right? It's not all going to be super easy. So I think Jordan Addison will get plenty of opportunities and plenty of snaps to do that. I just don't know, as far as a management perspective, how well it will translate in terms of wins. So.
Well, it's like essentially now you're just asking if you're just trying to replace the stats. You're asking to be a 1,000-yard receiver, and they throw the ball a bunch. So it is possible. There's going to be plenty of targets out there. I think if we're looking to also replace, it's over 100 targets between Thielen and Cook. Also as well. So it seems like they're going to be a much more kind of gunslinging 40, 45 pass attempts a game. And so and they're going to need more from him than just being a decoy, take a little bit of pressure off the double coverage that Justin Jefferson seems to be getting probably on every single play. And so that's where if he can continue that Biletnikoff type athleticism and performance and create space, get guys open, be another outlet for Kirk Cousins. Instead of just being like, I just got to throw it up to Justin Jefferson and hope that he catches it, which more often than not, Jefferson is going to catch it.
Yeah.
but it's still, though, you're risking a lot just putting that workload on Jefferson. So Addison is going to have to come in and be an elite receiver from day one if they want to have any opportunity to win the NFC North. Yeah. The only saving grace for them overall is that the NFC is fairly weak, and they can make a 7 seed. They potentially could make a 7 seed. Their division is questionable at best. Lions, I have the Lions as the favorite. I think they're going to win the division. But that being said, though, nothing's guaranteed, and also it's the Detroit Lions as well. So the Bears are not going to be good. We don't know what's going to happen with Jordan Love and the Packers. So there is some saving grace maybe that they can win the division again. But which I bring that up because it's going to allow Addison time to get his feet wet and maybe by the second half of the year really kind of be comfortable and can keep improving from there. So
yeah,
it's going to be tough to watch, or it's going to be fun to watch, I think, for the Minnesota Vikings. But in general, I think it's going to be tough because Addison is going to be the key player to and key bellwether player on if the Vikings are reigning champs or champs again in the NFC.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's again a lot of pressure put on a young guy. He's definitely going to get the snaps and the targets, I think, to do that. Just based off how much they threw the ball last year, the weapons that they did lose. So it's going to be really interesting to watch the Vikings and Jordan Addison in 2023. You and I will be watching very closely to see what goes on. But let's go ahead and wrap up this episode here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you think Jordan Addison is going to do in his rookie season. You think he's going to help the Vikings repeat as NFC North champs? Do you think that while he might have a good season, he won't do enough to propel them back into the playoffs? Let us know down below. Other than that, we will see you guys next time.